What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Yee podcast. I am joined today by Tyler over here in the corner. We've got Parker, and we've got Brian over here, and my name is Hayden. How are y'all doing today?
Oh, good. I was just looking at y'all's shirts. What's that one?
This is a Brandon Jones. I don't know what year it is. His first win?
2019 says down there.
Mm-hmm. Soon to be vintage.
Yeah, soon to be vintage. And then the Superior Brandon Jones shirt today is mine. So if y'all have been asking, we've had a lot of people asking about when the Nascar Brandon Jones shirts are coming out. When are they coming out, Parker?
Well, Hayden, we're talking about August 6th for the NASCAR release. We have a black shirt, a white shirt, a flag, and a hat, and a military green shirt, actually.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the military green.
Yeah. The white shirt is that.
Why'd you do 3 of them?
I think I'm most excited for the white one.
The white shirt is that one with no back. The black one has that on the front and a cool 19 on the back. And then the military green one's like a completely different design. It's like a mixture of our flag shirts and the number 19.
You definitely need to cut the sleeves off that, though.
Yeah, I feel like I can't wear this until the sleeves are cut off. I'm in Bristol. I'm
It's way too
definitely.
nice.
I'm gonna be like the guy down on pit road with the sleeves cut off, like typical NASCAR fan. So August 6th is whenever you said?
Yes, Friday, August 6th, 10 a.m. And if that changes, we'll let you know.
Is the hat the same one that a lot of people saw the pit crew wearing?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Brandon had a rough weekend this last race. You watched it live, didn't you?
Yes, I was very sad. It's been a rough couple of weeks. It's been a rough couple months, really. But I'm just trying to keep my expectations
For
managed.
Brandon?
Yeah, he just always teases me. Brandon's just always like on the brink of a top 5, and then
Oh, there it is.
I knew it was gonna happen to me.
Is it you?
Yeah.
All right, so we didn't tell y'all, but we decided that was quick, by the way, 5 minutes in. We decided that we're going to start doing a little game where we put all of our phones out here, and the first phone that goes off, that person has to chug it's a pretty small bottle
We
of
have
milk.
let's see, how big is this? 1 pint of Oak Farms Dairy Pure Whole Milk.
It's funny, too, because Parker was saying he doesn't know if he can do it. You got to do
I
it
mean,
now.
Right now?
Yeah, you got to chug it
Because
right
I want
now.
to film this when he does it.
I mean,
Here's your milk.
I feel like this is not, even though it's not very much liquid, it's milk though.
By the way,
Oh,
my phone went off and you barely beat me. It's an MLB baseball update.
Hayden's
Oh,
phone went off
man.
literally 10 seconds later.
Okay, so we can turn our phones off now that that was quick.
MLB notification.
Yeah, it's
I
just
want to
about
see
the-
who
it's about the
texted
home
me.
run
I wanna
derby
see who
tomorrow.
texted me to make me do this.
Who was it?
Oh, it was an automatic reminder of my piano lesson.
Oh, that's
no.
tough. Not even a real person on the other
Yeah.
end.
It's
All
like
right.
when you think
That
someone
is
cares
tough.
about you and you check your phone, it's just like
Yeah.
something from your insurance.
It's just
company.
it's just your insurance confirmation that you paid this month. All right. Let's see how this goes. This is gonna be if you're
Right here, yep.
if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, this is gonna be a little bit of a weird 20 seconds, but this is why you should be watching on YouTube. It's just gonna be Parker chugging.
Maybe we'll add some music.
Oh, hey, what kind of milk is it? Tell the people at home what kind of milk it is.
whole milk.
Ooh.
Dairy Pure Oak Farms. We are looking for sponsors currently.
Yeah, we're looking for a
Wait,
milk
wait, wait.
sponsorship.
Do you have to chug it, or like, does he get to take his time?
No, you get to chug it. You have to chug it.
Like 5 seconds?
I think at the end we'll once we've done this a couple times we'll post times and see who's the fastest chugger.
If I have to throw up, I'm just gonna try to get to that area.
Where is the trash can in
Can
here?
you get like
Uh-huh.
muscle milk or something next time? Or does
Maybe.
it have to
All right,
be
go.
that?
He's moving. Woo! That was pretty good time.
That was impressive. There you go.
When's the last time you had milk? You only do almond milk now, right? I think you and I both. I don't really do milk. too
Okay, I'm
much.
back. I haven't had real milk in probably a year and a half. So
That's going to mess you up.
This is we better hurry through this podcast.
I don't know what's gonna happen to me.
I don't even know where we were. That was a nice little
Yeah.
5-minute detour.
So,
Yeah, we were talking about Brandon. Yeah, it's tough. I think we're learning. I think all of us have always been like fans of sports where it's a team, and of course you can get excited for different players or whatever. But whenever you're really rooting behind one person, it can be really tough with the ups and downs. And especially us knowing Brandon, it's tough because he's such a good, likable dude. and you want to root for him, and it's just tough week in, week out to see like these ups and
Is
downs.
there a
that we've been
season?
seeing.
Like, how many races does he do in a year?
Yeah, so the Bristol is the last regular season race of the year. I think it's September 17th. So then it'll be the playoffs, and I'm pretty sure 16 get in. I know 16 are in the Cup Series, I believe, and maybe 12.
I think it's
I
12.
think he's inside the top 12 though, right?
He is,
he's,
but
he's definitely like 8 or 9.
I think once you get a win, it
get an
secures
automatic
your
lock,
spot.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's like an
there's-
automatic bid.
There's only 16 in the playoffs racing instead
Yeah.
of like what 50.
Yeah, like 40 something,
So
and then
there's
it
16 cars.
and then each week it goes down.
Mhm.
So each
until
week
there's
people
like
get
just
cut.
2 cars.
I think
Kyle
the last
Busch
week
and
maybe
somebody
4.
else.
Yeah, Kyle Busch and 3 other dudes.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I'm so tired of watching Kyle Busch race Xfinity. I'm just so tired of watching him win.
And he said this was his last race, so
It is.
hopefully it is.
Supposedly this year at least. So yeah, I don't know where. Do y'all know where racing is next week? Where they're racing?
Do you know, Ben?
New Hampshire.
Nice.
What kind of track is it?
It's like, I wouldn't call it a super speedway. It's a little bit bigger though.
The listeners are like, please stop talking about NASCAR. It's all y'all talking about now.
We're just gonna
but
talk about it until everyone at home is a fan.
Guys, just watch it. It's fun.
And
Once
then
you have
be
someone to
addicted.
root
Yeah,
for,
exactly.
it changes everything.
Yeah, exactly. Tyler, can you fill me in on what happened with your hand this weekend? Because Granger tweeted on Friday you were at the ranch in Clifton, and something happened with your hand. It was like the hot topic.
Yeah, I was just fishing with Lincoln, and we need to get some new poles, by the way, because they're all broke.
Are they just a bunch of Zebco 33s?
We don't even have that. We have just 2. We're down to 2 spinning rods, 3, but one's just completely out. But it was like Granas or something. But we need to get a Zebco for Lincoln.
That's the best pole to learn on too.
Yeah, so it was. He doesn't know how to cast them yet, so I was casting every time for him and letting him fish, and he caught a lot, and then he caught a really big one for us at that pond. It was probably one of the biggest, maybe the biggest ever I've seen. So it was huge. I was pulling it out. Backing up, we changed lures, and I was like, Lincoln, we're gonna put the biggest lure we can find in the tackle box because it only catches big fish. So sure enough, but it was huge. It was a Guggen lure,
Nice.
2 huge treble hooks on either end. So he caught that big one, reeled him in, and then I picked it up, and the hooks was like on each end of his mouth. So I put my thumb in there, and my ring finger was outside. Like thinking back, it was outside of his mouth, and then right when I got that initial like thumb in the mouth, it just did a huge shake.
Oh.
And literally the next thing I know, I'm looking at my finger and the treble hooks just completely through it.
Oh,
With
wow.
all the way. Thankfully, it was all the way, so the barb was, but I couldn't pull it back out
Right,
because
because
of
the barb.
So I had to just chill, and I said a few cuss words, and Lincoln was like, "Oh, why are you cussing? Oh, tie." And because he didn't understand what was going on
Yeah.
at the minute, and I was trying to remain calm. I think I was pretty calm, considering. So I only had like 4% battery left, so I called Mom. I said, "Hey, slight emergency. I need you to hustle. I got a hook all the way through my finger." She's like, "What do I get?" And I was like, "Some cutters, some clippers, some pliers, anything you can find. I need to cut a treble hook metal off of my finger." And so when I hung up with her, she was like, "Okay." And I called Granger. I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm not really thinking straight. I'm with Lincoln. I got a treble hook all the way through my finger. Will you call Mom and tell her what tool she needs to bring?" And he said, "Yeah." So he called her later. He said, "Got the right clippers for like fences, and then some wire cutters." And told me later, he was like, "Mom, I know that like you're focused on Tyler right now, but I need you to film."
Content first,
But-
safety later.
I was just chilling, and I, like looking back, like I said, I was in shock. But so I should have taken a pic or filmed the actual, because I was sitting there for a good 30 minutes waiting for Mom, and then she came in Dad's truck, the only truck that doesn't have 4-wheel drive.
Right.
So I called her. I saw her coming down. I said, "Hey, you can't drive over here. You're gonna get stuck. So park and then have London run it over." So Lincoln, I said, "Lincoln, you're the fastest one at this whole
Nice.
ranch. I need you to sprint like you've never sprinted before." He's like, "Okay, I'm on it." So he sprinted, met London, grabbed it, and came back. And then Mom came up filming. I was like, "Mom, turn it off!" Like, but she's like, "I'm just doing what Granger told me to do."
Sorry, Mom. We know you listened to this, and we know you did your best.
I should have. Looking back, I should have just let her film. Like, I was fine. Like, what are you supposed to do in that situation? There's nothing you can do but just wait. And so anyway, I pushed it out a little bit farther so she could get underneath the barb. She clipped it, didn't clip all of it, so I had her push it some more. I had her clip it again, and then I just pulled it out.
Was it pretty painful?
It was painful. The most painful part about it was the fish was so big that when it was shaking, it was ripping my finger. And so I had to put like all my weight, like my knee, on the fish. And like I was bummed because I was trying to save the fish. It was so big, and I just felt bad. But I didn't have anything like it. The one trouble was in my finger, and the other was just really good in the other side. And I'm not as good. I'm right-hand dominant, or right-handed, so I couldn't like really get the treble out of the fish's mouth, and then just have the lure dangling without it like shaking. Yeah. So,
are you planning on suing Guggen?
No, thankfully, I don't think we've used that lure before, so it was clean, I guess. But then I found out that the tetanus thing, I didn't get a shot, so comment below if I should have. But you're more worried about the fish and the pond and the water than the metal. Mm-hmm. So,
dang.
But that wasn't. People keep asking me how's my hand. Like, my main concern is my eye because I got fireworks in it.
At the ranch?
At the show.
Oh, at the show. Oh, they were coming down everywhere at the show.
And then it's every day it's been swelling a little more. I'm like, should I get that checked out too? I don't know.
Just go to the eye doctor and be like, hey, while you're at it. And he says, no, that's not how it works. I can't look at that stuff.
You check out my hand too.
Every time I'm at a specialist doctor, I'm asking them about other things. They're like, no, sir, that's not how this works. I only
we don't do
specify
that here.
one thing. Yeah.
So looking back, was there any way that you could have avoided that?
Dude, it was a freak accident. I've been fishing forever. I picked it up. Next thing I knew, it was completely through my finger. It was a freak deal.
Do y'all catch and release everything?
Is that what you're gonna ask? Like,
yeah, I guess. I was just thinking, like, whenever it's like
Yeah.
really in deep and it's a bass that's that big, then maybe it's best to just like set it on the ground and like stabilize it with some pliers or something and not risk it. But I mean,
I didn't have pliers, so literally I was like making a list. I got to go on Amazon today and get like needle nose, some more wire cut, like put everything and we just need to redo our equipment there at the ranch.
That's what'll make it fun for Lincoln too. And just when you're a kid, fishing's just so much about the equipment too. Yeah. Like, of course you can have fun with whatever you have, but I mean, I'm always like, I'm just like, I don't love fishing as much as most of my friends. And then Tyler's always like, it's because we have poles from the 90s. All of the line is always just like knotted up and not good or breaks. We have old lures and we have an old tank.
Send this to Guggen. They need to send us some poles.
We're working on something with them.
Okay.
Right? We talked about it in the podcast a little bit.
Yeah. We're releasing a Yee frog. Hopefully at the Cooper's.
Cooper's like convulsing on the ground.
Cooper's
hey,
acting
buddy.
like he had the milk.
We're trying to record a podcast here. Chill out. He's always snoring in the podcast, and I've never been able to hear it, but one day it's going to get so loud. Well, it's funny, too, because you weren't thinking of filming, but, hey, Cooper, buddy.
I did get some footage, and hopefully Paul will do his magic and be able to put something together.
Tuesday Smiths.
I got like, I should take that back. I got a lot. I just didn't get the actual, there's so much blood everywhere that even if I did get it, you won't see it. So I'm sure, and I don't know if Paul will need to like blur it out because the YouTube like won't allow me to show that. I don't know. So
probably so. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, you'll see. Well, you would have seen yesterday whenever this podcast comes out.
We got a good thumbnail of me and Lincoln's like has the wire cutters on my hand.
Yeah.
And there's just blood everywhere, and I'm like, ah.
Well, what's funny is we're getting better, and y'all are specifically as y'all do more Smith stuff, and y'all introduce like Tyler and Parker more into the Smiths episodes. But it's funny. This morning we found I went to go check on my quail, and there was a snake. It was just a chicken snake, but it was literally like 2.5 feet in front of me, eye level, on top of the chicken coop, or on top of like the cages inside the coop, and the first thing I did was run to go get a shovel. And if y'all weren't there, I would have never thought of filming it. I was like, oh, God, we got to film that stuff. Like, this is great content. But I don't know. Ben and I do so much content, but it's always meme stuff. It's just making jokes about everything, not in the moment. Whereas Granger is just at this point, something happens and that camera's out immediately.
I'm really proud of you for not killing the snake, successfully locating it elsewhere, because you know not to kill rat snakes. They're very nice, docile. Take care of the rats.
He didn't look very docile when he was snapping at Hayden's face.
Yeah, because you had a shovel. I'm sure I wouldn't either.
We definitely relocated it. It may be in not the same shape it was whenever we relocated it. So you can.
We relocated it to an alternate dimension.
Yeah.
He's in the afterlife.
The only thing I can remember from this morning was Parker going, "Oh, that one definitely did it," as I took the shovel. It's different. It's different if it's just out running around. I'm not going to kill a snake that's out running around, but whenever it's literally trying to get at my quail, it wasn't trying to get at the quail.
I
It's trying
can't
to get at
even
their
watch
eggs.
y'all do it. I can't deal with snakes. Spiders all day, but not snakes.
Yeah, I don't mind snakes,
same
but
way.
it's whenever it's messing with your. I hate to say livestock, like I'm some farmer, but whenever it's messing in my quail coop, it's different. It was funny because we always go work out in the morning, and sometimes I'll hear them. They're probably about 50 yards away from the gym, and they're in this like old train unit. I don't know what those are called, the units that are on trains, that's just on our land. And so they're inside there, and usually they're not that loud in the morning. They're not like squealing and squawking, but this morning I could tell all my quail were loud, and I didn't think too much of it, but I went to go check on them, and sure enough, right in front of my face.
You think that was because of the snake?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Even the females were loud, and usually the females
Will
aren't
it
that loud.
Eat the birds or just
No.
the eggs?
Not typical. I don't think so. I've looked this up before because it's a worry with my chickens as well. And no, they just go for the eggs. And sure enough, it was kind of crazy and kind of cool. Whenever I looked at it, it was all curled up and it had 2 quail eggs. Because what I do is I take all the quail eggs out and I put them on top of the cages, and then every few days I'll take a bunch of quail eggs because there's so many. And it had 2 wrapped up in the middle of it. And I think that it was probably there. We're recording this on Monday. I think that it was probably there all weekend, just chowing down. Like, it definitely had some good last meals. So it is what it is.
I just know we're gonna get a lot of complaints for killing it, but I was literally just like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm not going to relocate the snake.
Right.
It'll just
Go
come right
away.
back.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing. It would
Especially
come
out
right
here.
back.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna
There's
grab it
snakes
and put it in a
everywhere out here.
box and then drive. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take an hour and a half out of my day. It's like, if the best thing about yourself is that you help control eating rats, you're probably not that good of a thing.
We have plenty of rats too, so
Yeah, I haven't seen one in a while. Comment below what I should have done. If I made the right decision by relocating him to another dimension, or if I should have let him be.
you'll get the snake haters who be like, yeah,
I know.
any snake
I
is a
know.
dead snake, good snake, bad
Yeah, I
snake,
know.
whatever. But
I know.
Speaking of livestock, any update on the camel?
Well, we just hit 600,000 on Instagram. So
That's right. What's the goal again?
1 million followers on Instagram. I was promised a camel. However, that was looking
By
like
the end of this year?
no. There was no timetable. So it may be in 3 years we're getting a camel, but we're getting a camel out here.
I mean, dude, we're gonna have millions. Like, you can't just say
We're gonna have millions of camels.
you have to have
bet.
a date.
Millions of camels out here.
You have to have a date, a specific date. And
I
a
agree.
goal.
No, you
I
can't.
agree
I
with
have. By
that.
the way, I have the text messages from Tyler and Granger both, so I knew that this conversation would come up. What was happening?
I'm fine
was,
with the camel. That's fine. But I'm just saying, like, you have to have incentive, like, by this date. You know,
what happened is Instagram's changed their algorithm a lot without getting too into the details. But we were gaining crazy amount of followers per day, and it's kind of slowed down. We're still gaining a lot of followers, but it's not what it was. So whenever it first started happening, I was thinking, oh yeah, like October, we're gonna have a camel out here. It's probably gonna be a little bit longer now. but
It was
we're gonna
what,
be-
like 2,000 a day,
At one point, it was like
We were
3,000 a day.
3,000 a
Yeah,
day.
we're getting
So
about
yes, it's like
3,000.
60 to 90,000 followers a month.
Yeah, I did the math on it, and average it would have been about October. So I was hoping we could have it by Black
it's
Friday.
still
but
more than
probably-
any outdoor lifestyle brand.
Yeah, you did the math on, and you've been you're really good about looking at what other competitors are doing. in
Barstool's the
industry.
next fastest, but we almost double them.
Yeah, so their outdoors account, and then we look at a lot of other outdoor accounts that are doing kind of similar things to us. And you said that we're growing the quickest out of all of them, so
Mhm.
that's interesting.
Definitely.
Speaking of growth, do you want to talk a little about Yee Radio? Because 2 weeks ago we had Ant-Man on, who's heading up everything, and he talked with y'all, and that was awesome podcast. If you haven't listened to that yet, that one's a really good one. Granger's on it, Ant-Man's on it. It was released 2 days before Yee Radio. So if you listen to it, Yee Radio is now out. You can download it on your App Store, Droid or Android and Apple. So make sure you do that and rate it 5 stars for sure. But how has that rollout been? Like, what's it looking like? I know you were sharing some pictures of how many listeners we have. It's insane.
Yeah, we just hit 500,000, which is crazy. So especially just being like a week and a half, 2 weeks in. I didn't really have an idea of what it was going to be, but that's way more than I thought. So that's great. We're looking to lock in our first sponsor. So if anybody has sponsors or it helps pay the bills and the expenses that we have incurred to start it all and get Ant-Man paid and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, we had a good call this morning.
If someone at home is like wanting to help, because I saw in our Yee Nation Facebook group, which if you're not in that, go join that. It's like 250,000 strong now. But I guess y'all had talked about this at one point, but a lot of people were saying, let's raise money, to get them paid and all this different stuff. But right now, what we mainly need is just downloads.
Yeah, we don't need anybody. That's awesome. But we don't need anybody to like raise money. We just need people to tell a friend, download it. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. It's super easy. And just spread the word. So leave a review.
Yeah, leave a review is huge for us too. We had like 2,100 reviews in the first 2 days, which is insane, at least on the Apple Store. A lot of people, like, what are your thoughts on, because we're doing something a little bit different with this radio station. Certainly brands and different groups have created their own radio station before that's not necessarily your traditional radio stations that you hear, on the radio in your car. But one thing that we're doing a little bit differently is the choice of music and the genre has been a little bit different. And sure, there's that country music, but we also veer a little bit into other areas. So what would you say has been like your favorite new type of music to listen to that you've heard on Yee Radio that isn't usually played on country music?
Well, so Ant-Man threw in some Paramore, Misery Business, I think.
Yeah.
Is that
was the
right?
one that I saw getting some flack, but I love Paramore.
It got some flack, but it's like, look, we play hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of artists on this thing, and you're not gonna, like, every single artist you're not gonna love it. I saw that comment too. It was like, Paramore, what is this? Like, play Willie and Waylon. It's like, well, we do play Willie and Waylon a lot too, and Keith Whitley and all the old school stuff. But I mean, who doesn't love some Paramore? Especially that song. So we just we like to keep a good variety. Obviously, if it doesn't really fit the Yee lifestyle, we're not going to play it.
What's interesting too, whenever I came here and started working with you guys, is Parker told me this for the first time. He said whenever Granger, early on in Granger's career, or at least his Nashville career, where he signed to a label and he had songs on the radio, that one time a Granger song came on and that Parker changed it because, we just hear the same music all the time. And you were in the car and you said, no, don't change it. Like, they can track that. That was crazy to me.
He got so mad at me.
It's crazy to learn that they can actually, like, radio stations can track whenever you jump off or turn to another radio station.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
so weird.
The longer we do this, and maybe they don't. Ant-Man can answer that a lot better than me, but they can. Yeah, I mean, you can track anything these days. Like, how many seconds a listener was tuned in, when they changed it, and why they changed it, and on like how old they were, all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, so we can see that. So I figure at some point, we're kind of doing this rollout, but I figure at some point there will definitely be that period where we kind of step back and say, okay, well, this one song, was getting changed a lot, or this song, it'd be cool to see if you can even like turn it up. Like, you can see whenever people are able to turn it up. I work in digital media, so I know that you can track a lot of things on the digital side of stuff, but radio is a whole nother thing that I don't know much about. So that's super interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing with YouTube, videos, like how long they stayed engaged in the video, when they turned it off, and that sort of thing.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go to break real quick. See you in a minute.
So we just announced Granger's Country Things Tour, which pretty much kicks off this weekend and goes through the end of November. So I'll just name off a few dates. This weekend we're going to be in Kansas City on Thursday, at the Power and Light District on Friday, Lake Ozark, Missouri, Saturday, Trenton, Missouri. And then we're going to be in Bozeman, Montana on July 22nd, Richmond, Utah, July 23rd, Evansville, Indiana, July 28th. Taylorville, Illinois, July 30th. Guthrie Center, Iowa, July 31st. And August 1st on a Sunday we'll be in Valparaiso, Indiana. But yeah, Granger's just kind of always toured, and we've never done like an official announce like we just did, which you helped a lot on. Friday was the public on sale, and it's gone really well. Like I've been getting texts from Braden, who's our agent at WME, sporadically on like how certain shows are selling. Like he just sent me a text like just now that said Grand Rapids, Michigan is at 700 pre-sale or 700 tickets sold. It's not pre-sale anymore, but which is by far that, like, we always sell that place out, and I feel like all these are going to sell out by the time we play them. Anyway, it's really encouraging to see these numbers like continue to go up.
So where do people go to get tickets?
Grangersmith.com/tour.
Did y'all happen to see this weekend Richard Branson, who is it Virgin? Is that the name of the company that he has? It's like a multi-billionaire. Did y'all see this news? He flew to space.
I saw like a meme or some video, but I don't know details.
He flew it was him and 4 other people, and I don't know if he works with them or if they're actual astronauts or whatever you want to call them. But they flew, I think, 55 miles into space.
That's what I read. That's insane. I saw the video of them landing back on Earth. But
so you can buy a ticket, right, for like $1 million and go do it with them or something?
I don't know if that's open yet. I think that may be the plan eventually. And maybe that's what the other people that flew up there with him are. But would you, if money wasn't an option, would you fly to space?
Not really. I don't really have an interest. Like, you just go float around.
Yeah, they got out and everything, and they flew around, or they floated around, but that's it.
It's cool and intriguing, but I mean, to me, the risk is more like, is this thing going to safely come? Like, once it becomes like kind of normal, I'd probably do it.
Were they on like a rocket?
Yeah, it was in a rocket. They're the first.
It was like a rocket that like they had like a 3, 2, 1 and then went up.
I think so, and it orbited for a little bit. I mean, by the time you're listening, I think Jeff Bezos is doing it this week.
Did they come down in like
they
come
came
through
down?
the atmosphere?
It looked like a plane. It's just like a weird looking plane.
And it just landed on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So sick.
So I don't know.
Wow.
So you would do it?
Yeah, man. I mean, why not? If money wasn't an option, like, yeah, I probably.
How
would.
long does it take from takeoff to landing?
I don't think it took that long at all. I saw that they were back Sunday afternoon, and then they just popped champagne bottles, which is, they just did what everybody else does on Sundays, is just drink and hang out. But they just, went to space right before it. It's pretty crazy. Can you imagine the amount of white girls that are going to go to space just for the Instagram photos? That's just going to be the top Instagram. Like, can you imagine how you can put a location on Instagram? It's just going to say space.
Space.
It's not even going to have a location.
That's definitely going to happen.
How much did that cost to go?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, it's got to be in the millions, right? I would think it's
more.
got to be in the millions.
Where'd they launch? Like Florida or Houston?
I don't know. I probably should have looked all this up before. I just saw the headline, and I looked to see how high up it went, and then I was like, well, that's a podcast topic. That's insane right there.
They'll be going. That's just the beginning. They'll be stopping at the moon and Mars and.
Yeah.
Well, Earl Dibbles has been into space, actually. If you watch the America music video on YouTube.
Right.
I was about to say that. He's already done it.
We need to ask him, I guess.
First country boy in space, I think.
He did it before everybody else was cool.
Yep.
This is a little bit out of our typical topics, but it was such a big deal, and I feel like it took over the world. Did y'all watch the Euro Cup?
Yeah, it was awesome. I texted Parker yesterday, or today, asked him today, and he said he didn't watch it, but you did. Did you see?
He walked in right as it ended.
Did you see that save the England goalkeeper made?
Yeah.
Like it hit off the post, and
Yeah.
then he grabbed it again, and then England, all they had to do was shoot and score, and the Italy goalkeeper stopped it. And
So it was
they
England and Italy, and supposedly there's this saying that all the English people have been saying, it's coming home, because I guess I don't think they've ever won a World Cup or a Euro. They may not have ever even been in one. Italy's won 1 Euro. So it was a big deal for both countries because it's been so long. And it actually happened in London, which was cool because I think they just pick a site. So it just so happened that England made it. And then they went the whole game 1-1. England scored like 2 minutes in and never scored again. And they went to extra time. No one scored. And they did penalty kicks, which a lot of soccer traditionalists hate penalty kicks, but I think they're awesome.
It's fun to watch.
It's thrilling.
You know what I realized? I watched pretty much the whole tournament. I realized watching the final last night, I was making jokes like, why is the U.S. not in it? Oh, because they suck. But I was like, oh, wait, Euro. It's only European
Yeah.
teams. Got it.
Yeah. Well, and people, if you make fun of, because there's all these hilarious shots of fans, and they're just crying, or it's a grown man and he's just painted up with the British flag, and it's hilarious. And then people, if you make fun of them on Twitter, people get after you. They get mad at you. They're like, you just don't understand it. You know, soccer's not a part of your culture. But I do understand it, because SEC college football is insane. Like a Saturday in Tuscaloosa, Alabama is unlike anything, you know, that I know. So I guess that's what I would compare it to here. It may not be the same because it's nationality.
You just take that 100,000 fans
you're
and
right.
like triple it. And then just the passion that they have, like when they score and everybody in unison singing, it's like, oh, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, even if you don't like soccer, a lot of people like to hate on it, but you respect the competition. And if you think about it, like whatever sport that you love, imagine if we got an all-star team of NFL players, or I guess a lot of people don't like the NFL anymore. I don't know. All of
Baseball.
all of your favorite
games,
college football players, or whatever your favorite sport is. And then you add that to your reputation is on the line because you're going up against every other country in the world. I have to create an analogy to get people to be interested in it because the U.S. is so bad.
Well, none of us are interested. We grew up with the NFL, the NBA, like anything you want to do, you can do here.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about soccer, but everywhere else, like Caleb had a good point. He was like, these countries that don't have any money, like literally you can get like trash, make it into a ball, and then put some tape on it, and then you got a game of soccer. That's what they do growing up.
That's always been why soccer and basketball traditionally, and even football too. Football, there's a little bit more gear, but soccer and basketball traditionally, lower income has usually played those games to begin with because anyone can start it. Like baseball, you gotta have a glove, you gotta have a bat. I mean, I guess there's not that much to it. Baseball's another sport,
especially football. You gotta have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, football is expensive. It's not just a football.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what was crazy about it was, did you see the fans just bum rush the stadium? Did you see the videos of that?
At the end of the game?
No, like 20 minutes into the game, all the fans outside just in unison, which is the most European thing ever, decided that they were just going to bum rush the police and ticket agents.
Well, did you know you can't fight or you get thrown in prison for like 18 years? That's why there's no fights there.
Oh, I saw tons of fights.
If you start a fight, somebody told me, maybe they were lying.
I think
they
that's
said-
Singapore. I think that's
told that
Singapore.
story.
But usually he says I'm joking at the end.
But
I don't
are
know.
we really
Caleb
trusting
said that
Caleb?
at all like FIFA world stage type tournaments, you'll get thrown in jail if you fight.
That's what he said.
Well, what happened yesterday is they basically just in unison decided to just rush, and they were tearing down all the gates and stuff, and they got into the stadium. And then, so there's video of that. And then there's video of people in the stadium getting ticked off that other people are coming in. So fights everywhere. They were getting mad. Like, I paid for this ticket, probably an ungodly amount.
After the game?
In the middle of the game. And of course
Wow.
they're all, it's their homeland country. Like, they're all probably very intoxicated. And there's just fights breaking out everywhere. So they said right before they went to halftime, the announcer said they showed a video of the entryway that they all came in, and you could see them in this concourse where you can still see the pitch. You like that? Pitch? I said pitch. I didn't say field. You could see them, just fans everywhere because they all got
pitch?
in. A pitch. It's not called the field. It's called a pitch.
The field is called a pitch.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't know
watching
that.
Soccer, dude.
I didn't know that.
That's the one thing I learned from this Euro.
Interesting.
Looking cheeky.
Did y'all that's a weird transition. Did y'all happen to see, I want to hear Tyler's thoughts on this because Tyler's been with us, or has started all of this, and you see the Granger side of touring, and then you also see the Yee side in sales and orders and everything. Did you see the graphic that we posted on social media that blew up of our top states? I'm trying to find it real quick.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by any of them? Were you surprised by any of our top states? And then we also,
It's like California and Texas were top 2, right?
yeah, I wonder how much that has to do with sheer population.
Probably a lot. Like, you can't compare California and Texas with like Maine or like New Hampshire, Vermont. You know what I mean? There's just not many people.
How
there.
would you do that? You would divide the orders by the. It would need to be
Overall
like
population.
A region
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
population.
I'm trying to find. Okay, I've got it. So, most Yee orders in 2021 by state. I'm gonna do the top 10: Texas, California, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Washington, Florida,
Yeah.
New York, Indiana.
The funny thing about that is, like, when you see like the best recruits out of what
True.
state has the best recruits. It's always California, Texas, Florida, all the same ones you just mentioned
Yeah.
because of population.
Yeah, but Ohio, Michigan. I mean, yes. But what would you say is Granger from the touring side and concerts? What would you say are our best state markets? You don't have to go into specific cities.
It's Texas actually has gotten a lot better, but I wouldn't put Texas in the top 10. It would be the Californias, the Michigans, Ohio's, Washington, Pacific Northwest does really well.
Oregon.
Midwest does really well for us.
Why would you say that? What about it in Texas, would you say? Do you think it's because we have kind of our own regional scene as well, whether you call it red dirt or Texas country or whatever?
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it, yeah.
I agree. Kind of seen that translate over the last few years. I feel like Texas country has grown quite a bit, too, in the last 10 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Whatever you
artists
call
that
it.
have quote unquote broken out from that scene and are now
Mhm.
doing that. The one that surprises a lot of people, and a lot of people in the comments were saying this, is California. And of course, as we just said, the size, but it's like I didn't realize until I saw it, but there is a good amount of country boys in California. It's not just California like everybody says.
Yeah, it's a big misconception, and unless you're like boots on the ground like us and go see every single concert, yeah, it's like they're the most country people out there. Like, especially, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say Los Angeles is like, because when we go play LA, people come from hours out to come in. Like, I remember we played the Troubadour years ago, and they're like, we've never seen this many pickup trucks on
Wow.
Sunset Boulevard or whatever,
Yeah, it's
wherever
on
the
Sunset,
Troubadour
yeah.
is. It's like our fans come in. But yeah, it's like you were saying earlier, when we go play anywhere besides Texas, it's like how many times does a country artist go play Seattle, Washington? Like a few times a year, especially one you want to see. But in Texas, there's somebody playing somewhere every single weekend. So they're just more used to it here in Texas.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's one of those things where, like, if Granger's coming through Portland, Oregon, which there's a date coming up, you got to go see him because he's probably not going to come back for another year. It's once a year. And that's how it works with a lot of artists, too.
Mm-hmm.
In Texas, we get really spoiled. We don't realize it, but we've got, I mean, I could look up right now, and I bet there's 3 or 4 different notable Texas country artists playing this weekend in Austin area.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to do the least amount of orders because everybody asked for that. This is going from 40th to 50th. So the last state I say will be our last. Montana, Maine, South Dakota, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Wyoming, Vermont, Delaware, Alaska, Rhode Island, Hawaii. And I think a lot of that is probably less populous states, of course.
In Hawaii, I feel like Hawaii is the anomaly because it's like Hawaii is Hawaii. It's beautiful. There's so many things to do besides go to concerts and, I don't know, buy merch. They're just doing Hawaiian things.
And listen to podcasts. Like, I guarantee you no one from Hawaii is listening to this
They're at
podcast
the
because
beach right
why?
now.
Yeah, why would you be listening to this podcast?
If you are, comment below on YouTube. if
Yeah,
you're
we
listening
need
to this in
we need to
Hawaii.
find out if we have any
and
Hawaii
stop
listeners.
listening to
I
this
know.
and go to the beach or something.
If you're listening to this and you're in Hawaii, turn it off. Go outside. Yeah,
Same
there's a
thing
little
with
bit
like
of that.
Montana and
Yeah,
Wyoming, like
yeah.
states like that, South Dakota. I don't know if I'd say South Dakota is beautiful. Sorry, but like Montana and stuff, just gorgeous places like that. Like they're outdoors. There's not many major cities there. They're all spread out. So that translates, I think, to that reason in touring. And we're gonna be in Bozeman though. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I was about to say, Brian was showing me pictures of that venue. It looks insane.
Yeah.
That's at a fair, I think. Big Sky
Big
County
Sky.
Fair.
And then the next
you
night
going to that?
in Richmond, Utah. I don't know yet.
Brian and I were
want
just
to.
talking. We're just trying to decide if we wanted to go to those shows because it's so pretty out there.
I'm gonna be going to them.
I
Yeah,
might
that's
tag along with you.
It's definitely a good run to go on. All right, we're gonna go to break real quick. We'll be right back.
Listening to the podcast, the best way you can support the podcast is by leaving a review. If you're listening on Apple, leave a review for us and tell a friend. If you're listening on Spotify, you can follow it or subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you for listening.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Yee podcast. We are going to do fantasy rankings. We've done this a little bit. If you are new to the podcast, we basically go around and we rank a certain topic. So we've done best occasions for a beer. What were some other ones we've done? What did we do last week?
We did best. No, we did worst Valentine's Day gifts.
Yeah,
at
we did that one
point.
time. Best TV theme songs.
Yeah. What company would you want to be sponsored by as a college
was last
athlete?
week.
Yeah, that was last week. So this week is best occasions to listen to country music. This one's going to be highly controversial. I think that people are going to be like, y'all forgot this, or y'all, that why didn't you pick this, or whatever. So the way that this works is once someone picks it, it's off the board. So don't get mad at me for not saying something that was already picked. So you got anything?
Yep, I
You
got
wanna
a
go
couple.
first?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go first, and then we'll go around this way. So it'll be Brian, Parker, Tyler, Hayden.
All right, my first one is in the shower.
In the shower.
Listening to country music.
First pick in the
shower.
draft.
Yep. We're gonna start off with that one. In the shower. Country music. Turn on your country music. After a long day, whatever it is.
What decade? Are you going
90s country.
with? 90s
Yeah.
recently? Gotcha.
That's the best decade, in my opinion.
Yep.
All right, well, I didn't have that one, so good thing. Go ahead, Parker.
I'm just imagining Brian listening to Neon Moon. By
Wait,
Garth
are you
Brooks in
singing
the shower.
along? Yeah, are you singing along?
Right? Yeah. It just depends on what kind of mood you're in.
Yeah, okay. Just Brian playing Neon Moon.
On the lake.
Yeah.
Sun shining, on the
good one.
boat,
Yeah.
little surfing, good times. Chattahoochee.
Yeah, you can't beat. I think that On the Water is off the board because that was on mine too. But yeah, anything on the water and country music goes together so well. So what you got?
At a live show.
At a live show.
Support your touring musicians, especially since
good
we're
one.
back out of COVID.
I think you took one of Hayden's.
No,
That
I
is
didn't.
true. Man, you can't be a live concert with a country artist that you like in a good venue.
Yeah.
You got a good spot.
I forgot how much I missed it. I saw Parker McCollum and then Granger back-to-back nights, and it's been a minute. I mean, I guess Granger's had some shows here and there that I've seen, but it's so much fun to just go to a show. And we're so used to doing like the side stage thing, but which kind of gets old after a while. I know that sounds crazy to people at home that have never experienced a show like that, but you don't hear the music is good. Like, it was so fun to go to Parker McCollum just as a fan again.
Speaking of live shows, and y'all comment below and let me know your thoughts on who you think has the best live show. But I'm biased, but there's just nobody that touches Granger's show, at least in the country music world. Like, his show that he puts on is the best I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot. Florida Georgia Line, when we were touring with them, they obviously have a lot more production, bigger stages, all that kind of stuff, a lot more resources to use. But I just don't think anybody comes close to Granger's show.
I think
Especially with the Earl element,
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
that we have, like
Yeah.
nobody else has that.
I think it kind of depends on what you like too, because I've seen Culture Wall and like a Tyler Childers, and some people will swear up and down by them, and I love both their music. Tyler Childers didn't love the live show, but I love production, so that's not taking anything away from that artist. I still think he's
Yeah.
one of the best songwriters and has great music, but it's just I think it's all about what your priorities are.
Definitely.
One of the best times to listen to country music in my book is after a breakup. After a breakup, you got, all kinds of feelings. You maybe got dumped by a girl, and you just play some of that sad country music. It's just the best. There's nothing that compares to it.
When was the last time you had a breakup, though?
It's been a minute. That's why it's not on my or
Yeah.
that's why it's on my list, because it's not very fresh. But I didn't think of it initially, and then whenever I thought about after a breakup,
Took one of mine. That was one.
Was
of
that on
mine.
yours?
Yeah, that was on my list. That was my next one.
yeah, after a breakup, some of that country music that you listen to is, and it's not the typical country music. Like, it's very different than some of the country music you'll listen to on other occasions that I won't say because maybe we have it on our list. But it's that sad country music. Ooh,
Yep.
it's the
Like
best.
who? What artist?
Dude, I tell you what, Gary Allen makes some of the best breakup music. Like, if you ever listen to Best I Ever
Just
Had,
watching airplanes,
golly,
just
watching
crying, rise up.
airplanes,
Yep.
golly, shout out Gary Allen. That dude is amazing.
All right. Well, my next one, I don't know how it's still lasting this long, but driving down a back road during the summertime, sunset. That's a top one.
Yeah, that's probably should have been your first pick. I can't believe it lasted this
I
long.
didn't think it would.
Yeah, that one's a good one. That's classic. And I think that everyone can relate to that, even people that don't love country music. There's something about a back road with the windows down.
During the summer.
Yeah,
It's,
during the summer. Nothing beats it.
Backroad song, of course, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
back road song. There you go.
I'm gonna say evening on like an ATV or a four-wheeler or like a when you're out with the boys. I wouldn't consider this backroading. I would consider it like in the back of a truck, like in the woods on your buddy's land, like when you when you gather the troops up for like a late night trip, like going varmint hunting, or just like up to something just no good, just mischievous in general, just going around the land, playing some country music. That's a good time.
It's a good one.
That's a good one, but it's going to be really hard for me to put in the graphic. We do a graphic every week after these and we post it on
Maybe
social
just
media.
say
Like you could say bonfire or tailgate maybe.
no.
You can't do both
I'm
those.
thinking this is pretty specific. I'm thinking like varmint hunting for some reason.
So when you go calling with your boys.
No, because you wouldn't want to be listening to music
Yeah,
while
true,
you're
true.
calling.
This
But
is-
this is just like when you're going to slay some like raccoons, like in the woods or something,
Yeah.
or like some.
So when you're
So
killing a
I'm-
raccoon family, that's
when was
whenever
the
the
last
best country
time you
music.
went to slay some raccoons?
I think we did that at Connor's Ranch.
Yeah.
Well, no, we just like went and started doing drive-bys with
Well-
like into old cars with his AR. Like so, it's probably
Sounds
just-
like some beer was involved.
I just always feel so
No, there
bad
really
slaying
wasn't.
raccoon families because it's like they were just minding their own. I don't know.
fine. Bonfire.
So bonfire is your final. I mean, it's probably going to be better for you on the graphic. Honestly, that's a good one. All right, bonfire is off the board officially, kind of. Tyler, what you got?
Well, I don't actually listen to much music at all because I work in the business for a living, so it like my mind always goes to like the business side of it. But when I do, it's always like old school country, like watching or playing GTA. Always switching to Rebel Radio. It's the only station I listen to.
What is a GTA for those that don't know?
Grand Theft Auto. So it's like some good Tammy Wynette, some Willie and the Boys, some
Mhm.
Highwaymen.
Yeah.
And get down on.
Is that what that
stuff.
radio station on GTA always plays?
They need a Yee radio on Grand Theft Auto.
Can you imagine if we got that deal? What's funny too is that Tyler always plays GTA at the farm, and he'll like. This is on the game, so we don't do this in real life, but Tyler will literally like go up to a car that's in traffic, rip the person out of the driver's seat, and he gets in it to drive, and the first thing he does is he puts on country music. Like every time I've ever watched him play, that's the first thing he does. Rip out of the car, change the radio station. Okay, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I would say grilling. Listening to country music while grilling is some of my favorite. The vibes are immaculate. You got a little sweat running down your face from the grill. You got some country music on the radio, usually some friends involved. That's the best. My
That's a
favorite.
good one.
One of my favorite times to listen to country music.
All right, my last one is at the beach,
Mm-hmm.
not on the water.
Oh,
just
see, I don't
sitting,
know if we're gonna allow that.
Sitting in the sand. You don't have to be
Listening
at the
to
beach,
some Kenny
then. Some
Chesney.
Kenny Chesney, Zach Brown band, whatever you're
Got
doing.
Jimmy
my toes
Buffett.
in the water.
Like
Yeah.
some yacht rock and like some yacht country music.
Yep.
That is good.
Some Mexico by Granger Smith.
Yep, Mexico.
Stop. We can't talk about that. You know what's funny is a lot of my friends, I'll be somewhere with a friend that listens to Granger but not like faithfully, and they just love Mexico. To a certain fan, I think that Mexico is their favorite
Yeah.
song.
I've
Mhm.
talked to several people who
crazy.
100% is Mexico their favorite song.
That's wild to me. It's always funny. Granger has I guess every artist does, but we're just so close to Granger. He'll have a song like off of every album that is not that many people's favorite, but to the people that like it, they love it, and it's their favorite. I think that was definitely Mexico on this last album.
Cooper just put his head and blocked my final thing, but I remembered it. I'm going to say window seat, airplane. Just hits different. Music on the plane.
You're a window seat guy?
Well, it depends. If it's a morning flight and I know I'm going to be sleepy, then I'll go window. If it's an afternoon or I don't really care, then I'll go aisle for accessibility.
Wow. Embrace debate.
I
What's
am
better?
the same exact way.
What's better? Comment below, window or aisle seat. What you think is better on an airplane?
I think it has to
Aisle
do
all
the
day,
I'm an
every
aisle
day.
guy too.
the duration of the flight as well.
Yeah, I do not have a large bladder, and so I don't
Same.
like leaving it up.
That
to,
plus I'm what's a close space phobia?
Claustrophobic.
Yeah, I'm claustrophobic. Can't be over there. I get like anxiety and stuff.
Interesting. All right, Tyler, your last pick.
I don't know. Probably like if you're like at a small town like old school cafe or something, getting some chicken fried steak at like
that's a
Mary's
good one.
Cafe in Strawn or something, and then they're playing country music, just kind of that kind of environment.
Yeah, that one's good too. Everyone right now is picturing a certain cafe that they
Yeah,
either grew up
everybody's got
going
one.
to or went. Man, we got to get back to Mary's Cafe in Strawn. Is that the best chicken fried steak you've ever had, by the way?
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone what if someone that worked at Mary's is listening to this? We just gave them free promo.
Yeah,
If you ever
hopefully.
get the chance, what is that, Eastland area?
I don't know. I
It's
haven't
in
been
West
there.
West
but
Texas.
Yeah, Breckenridge.
Yeah, Breckenridge,
area.
Eastland, kind of. If you ever get a
Uh,
chance,
A couple hours west of Dallas.
yeah, it's called
Fort
Strawn,
Worth.
Texas. Mary's Cafe. It's got the best chicken fried steak you'll ever have.
I think we should take a trip up there.
Yeah, we should take a work trip just for the chicken fried steak.
I'm in.
One of the best times to listen to country music is around your city friends that don't like country music. There's something about people that, because everyone, well, I don't know. I've got a couple city friends that do not like country music, so whenever you play it around them,
Get them out of your life.
yeah, you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. It just hits a little different, you know? And then what's really cool is whenever one of them actually kind of likes the song, and you know they like it, but they won't tell you, or sometimes they do, and then you just feel cool because you just put them on to a new song.
It's like that video going around with Post Malone dancing to Shania Twain.
Yeah.
I Feel Like a Woman. It's like,
Yeah.
there's certain songs that you just can't help but sing along to.
Yeah.
Even Post Malone.
Did you see his cover of Dwight Yoakam? We were
Yeah.
watching that this week, and it's
Yeah.
so incredible.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. Wait. Oh, I was last,
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
I?
it.
Oh, I won that one.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Y'all comment below and tell me who you think won. We good this week?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for joining.
Hey,
Eat
wait,
your veggies.
wait. Hayden's birthday's tomorrow.
No,
go
it's going to
wish
be
him-
yesterday.
Hayden's birthday's yesterday.
You can give me. You can,
Go wish him a
Hayden's
happy
birthday is
birthday.
going to be yesterday.
Guess his age in the comments.
Yep.
yeah. And if you're listening to this on Wednesday, go wish me a late happy birthday.
Happy 18th.
Eat your veggies.